Go get him. What's up, everybody? We're actually headed through Clearwater Beach right now. We're actually going to a 295 Pursuit. We got a dead battery on the house side. The boat's about 4 years old now, so that makes sense. It lasts about 3 to 5 years is all you're gonna get out of a battery, especially in this weather and environment we're in. The only other thing on this one is the indicators for the trim are stuck all the way down, so I'll show you how we free those up. We're only about 3 minutes away, so I'll see you there. All right, so we made it. Look. It's a nice one. 295s are nice. He keeps this one in excellent shape. Still looks brand new. It's little subtle differences in the seating and some of the stuff they do with these dual consoles, but let's jump on here. Customer already opened it up for me. See, the seating is a little different here. The setup is a little different. It's still the same idea. First, let's check our batteries here. We have a little meter here. Let's just turn our house on and see what it shows. Nothing. Combined them. Oh, that means our engine starting batteries are taking over for our house battery. Turn it back on this. Got nothing. So back here, our two starting batteries are right underneath that lid right there. But up front, our house battery is actually in this door right here, hiding under the seat. So I have a new one. Let me change this out real quick and then we'll check everything. All right, so we got our new battery in here. Turn our battery switch on here, and we're already doing better. So we got good voltage. Let's turn our motor batteries on here so we can check our trim and tilt. See why it's not indicating. Turn our ignition on, and we can see. Then we can see what our trim and tilt is showing here. So we have 2 on one and 1 on the other. Let's trim it down. So they're all the way down. We obviously got misreading here. We can set trim to 0, but let's see if they go up. Not moving. The motors are moving. So we go back here. We look. See how well you can see this. So you look back here, here's our trim and tilt. Here, this rod right here, that's our trim indicator. So now I just freed it up by touching it. It should move up by itself. So what I usually do is give it a little bend, kind of push it back and forth. It seems to break that little bit of corrosion that might be stopping it from moving when they're both doing it. So we'll, if it gets real bad, you can spray them down and grease them. This one looks like it's got grease on it already. And now it's moving by itself. Let me do the other side real quick. Yeah, I can feel that one was also stuck. Let's check the gauge. Alright, so the motors are all the way up now. Looks like it's signaling correctly. Let's go down and see what they do. Let's go back up. It looks like this one right here is no good. This sender has failed. This one seems to be reading right. We can try to set this to 0 one more time to see. Trim level. It shows 3% and 0%. Let's set them to 0. We're good. Back out. Now we're both down. Let's see if it does it again. So this sender is no good. This one is working correctly. So we're going to need another sender for this motor here. It's hot in here. All right, so I don't have a sender with me. Plus it's hard to change that sender over the water. So the boat's gonna have to come in so we can yank it, put that sender on there, and we'll be able to fix this side. That being said, I'm gonna pack this one up and we gotta head down south to St. Pete to our next boat. So I'll see you there. All right, so we made it here. We're at Loggerhead Marina here. All right, we're here for a 385 pursuit. I guess the port motor is running funny. So let me run inside here and we'll get him to put it in the water for us. All right, good news. Our boat's already in the water. Guess he left it there. He must have used it for the Labor Day weekend we just had. Funny though, let me show you the dock. There's actually a few more of our boats sitting there too. Oh, the 408. You don't see very many 408s with that color. Awesome boat. And look right here, Brady White. Is it a 306 or 336? Very good boat, one of my favorites actually. The size and everything is perfect for this area. That's a 336. And here's our Pursuit. It's a 385. This is actually the one that I put the cables through on one of my episodes for that. If you can see it, let's look. The very top, that little tiny ball right there, that's our FLIR camera. It's the one I ran all the cables for. She's brand new, so I guess our port motor right here not liking to run. All right, so let's jump on here. Get everything fired up. Let's get our batteries all on. Let's turn on our main switches here so we can fire these motors up. This one's just push button. And our power. Let's start them up. Yeah, right away you can see this one's shaking. These ones are nice and smooth. Let's turn them off for a second. Alright, we see it shaking. Let me pull the cowling. We'll check a few things real quick. I got it plugged in. We got no codes. I'm going to pull this off so we can check our fuel here. If you look, this line actually is on our intake right here. You can see right in the hole there. I can't really see because of the sun, but there's a screw there. We can drain our VST line and check our fuel in our motor and make sure it's good first. Alright, so we're draining it out here. So far it looks pretty good. I don't see any real water or anything going on here. We'll let it drain all the way out. Alright, so looking at our fuel, we got no real contamination here. Everything looks good between the two. Alright, so we got our cover off here. Got our plastic covers off too. Let's start just this one. You can see it's shaking pretty bad. So what we can do is pull our coils and see if we can pinpoint what cylinder is doing it. Nope. Or if it's a cylinder at all. Alright, it's not the starboard bank. That one changes it. Alright, there we go. Bottom cylinder on the port side. Not doing anything. Alright, so I turned it off. It's the bottom cylinder, which is number 5 on the starboard side. So let me go grab some tools. We'll take that spark plug out, we'll take that coil off and see what's going on. Alright, so I trimmed it up. This is our culprit here. We're going to pull this off. I'm also going to trade it with this one. And we'll pull a plug out of here since we know it's working. We'll compare them. We can also trade coils to make sure it's not the coil. We'll see if it's a plug or a coil. It also could be one of these injectors. They could have a bad injector or something stuck or it's not working. So we'll find out when we pull it apart. Alright, so I got the plugs out. It's actually just you need a 10 millimeter and just a regular spark plug socket, which I think they have 5/8 is the plug size. So 5/8 and 10mm, you can get these out. This plug right here is actually the one that came out number 5. It doesn't look too bad. It looks a little wetter than number 3 here. So what I'm going to do is put number 3 in 5. That's also our number 3 coil. So we'll put this in number 5 and we'll see if it follows. Alright, so we have our coil switch and our plug switch. Now let's fire it up and we'll see what if it followed suit. Then we know we can change our coil, or we have a bad injector or a bad plug. Alright, so she's still running rough. Now let's pull our number 3. Alright, so we've determined that it's not the plug or the coil, because when I swap these, they're working correctly. Now luckily this is just 2 10mm bolts here, and we can trade out our injector. So I'm going to switch number 5 with number 2. I just realized I've been looking at this backwards. So this is actually number 6, number 5's over there. So number 2, number 6, I'm going to trade our injectors out with. If you ever look at a motor, the higher head between the two is going to be where the motor starts. So number 1 is right here, number 2 is right here. The head is lower on this side than that side. So let me swap these 2 injectors from 2 to 6, and we'll see what happens. All right, so now we've traded. Now let's fire it up, see what it does. Still missing. Number 6 here is still not doing nothing. That makes me think maybe we've lost a signal to our coil here. Alright, so our fuel's good, we know our spark plugs are good, our coils are good. ECUs cannot be traded out to make sure that there's a problem. We got no codes on the ECM, nothing happening there. So I can't really go any further. I do not have any more parts like shift position switch or ECU or the computer to plug into it to see. I have the dongle, which just goes to a phone, but there's no codes. Nothing's really showing its face. Everything is showing that it's okay. So that being said, we're gonna have to get this back to our shop to finish diagnosing it. It's not a normal issue with like water in the fuel or a bad plug or a coil went out or something like that. There's something else happening here. Could be a bad throttle body, could be a couple other issues. I'm gonna pack it up and get it back over there in the barn. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Later. Go Green Bay.